Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom.
It's our culture unit. We're going to be talking about the horseshoe, which in Western culture, of course, is a good luck charm. You know, if you have a horseshoe, supposedly it's supposed to bring you lots of good luck. Kind of like the rabbit's foot is supposed to bring you good luck, but that always kind of grossed me out, Tom. People who had real rabbit's feet, just one foot as a keychain, I thought, ooh, you could feel the soft fur and the bone of the foot. That grossed me out. But I do like the horseshoe. What about you? Did you have any good luck charms growing up?
Yeah, I knew people who had rabbit's feet.
Yeah.
That was like a good luck charm. But yeah, I still kind of thought that was pretty weird.
Kind of gross.
The fur was dyed different colors sometimes.
I felt bad for the rabbit.
Yeah, I haven't seen those in many, many years.
Yeah.
So maybe they've gotten rid of that disgusting tradition.
I don't know. We've been here too long.
Probably, yeah. But of course, people do carry around good luck charms. Although I highly doubt they're going to carry around a horseshoe because they're made out of metal. They're
Not
kind
a real
of heavy.
size.
But yeah, as a good luck charm, of course, sometimes you put it above your door. You don't carry it around with you. Oh, maybe some people might carry it around.
Oh, yeah, we carried them around. We'd put them on our car window, you know, the rear view mirror.
Okay.
We'd hang them there,
Wow.
but they were tiny. You don't use a real life-sized horseshoe.
Okay, that makes sense.
No.
I don't have that tradition myself, so I did not know about that tradition of putting it over your rear view mirror in your car. I know that's common here in Taiwan for people to hang things from temples.
True, yeah.
Good luck couplets, I guess. Yeah, they hang them from their mirrors all the time, so I suppose some people put horseshoes over their rear view mirrors, or maybe a couple of furry dice or something like that.
Maybe.
But today we are going to talk about the horseshoe. These are pieces of metal that go on the bottoms of horses' feet. I should say on the bottoms of horses' hoofs.
Hooves.
And it helps them walk better. And I guess it also helps protect their hooves from damage from walking a lot. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So yes, they have a practical purpose and they can also be a good luck charm. So let's get to it. Let's read the entire contents of our lesson now one time.
Are you in need of a good luck charm? Try a horseshoe on for size. The horseshoe is one of the Western world's best-known good luck charms. How did it acquire such a profound status, though? There are a few different legends worth exploring about the horseshoe. In one Irish version, there is a blacksmith forging horseshoes in his workshop when the devil appears and asks for a pair. The blacksmith, recognizing the devil, complies by attaching burning horseshoes to his feet. Upon leaving the workshop in intense pain, the devil swears to never go near a horseshoe again. Elsewhere in Europe, people attributed magical powers to the horseshoe's iron. Many believe that iron drove away wicked fairies and forced witches to ride broomsticks rather than horses. On the other hand, the Chaldeans believed that the horseshoe's crescent shape symbolized various moon goddesses and warded off the evil eye. The superstitions hardly end there, however. The way a horseshoe is hung also carries weight. Some believe that hanging the horseshoe with its opening facing upward keeps the good fortune it brings from spilling out. Meanwhile, others believe that facing the horseshoe's U downward will cover all those who pass under it in good luck. In Finland, people even melt miniature horseshoes down on New Year's Eve. The shape that the metal melts into offers a prediction for the year to come. For instance, a ring shape indicates an upcoming marriage proposal, while a coin shape forecasts wealth. People who lack the capability to melt down a horseshoe, however, might settle for placing one under their pillow when they go to bed on December 31st. No matter how it's hung, where it's placed, or what it reminds you of, it's apparent that the horseshoe will be bringing blessings for many years to come.
Okay, it's our culture unit for the month of January, and we're talking about the horseshoe, which I believe in Chinese is马蹄鐵, the piece of metal that goes on the bottom of a horse's hoof. And there are horses here in Taiwan, but not as many as there are, at least in my home state. I know a lot of my friends grew up on farms, and they always talked about going for horseback rides and stuff like that. So, of course, horseshoes were quite common in their conversation, and so horseshoes are very much part of American culture, although, of course, horses were not native to North America. I think China has had horses for thousands of years, but in any case here, we're talking about, again, those pieces of metal that go on the bottom of the feet of horses, and they're also used as good luck charms. So, yeah, it's an invitation to a lucky life. I guess if you have a horseshoe, that could mean good luck to you.
Yeah, the horseshoe, because it's shaped in the shape of a U, the letter U in the alphabet. They'll also use horseshoe to describe that type of shape. Yeah, that road is in a horseshoe, or turn on that horseshoe road, we'd sometimes say. We have a lot of roads that look like that. They're in the shape of a U. I grew up in Arizona where there are a lot of cowboys, and I did get to ride horses when I was young, but because my mother was allergic, it was tough to go because it was really kind of scary with her. If we didn't wash really well before we came into the house, she would have to go to the hospital. It was that bad. But I do like horses. Tom mentioned what the horse's foot is called. It's got a hoof, but if it's got two, the plural form's a little weird. You take off that F and you add a V, hooves, hooves. A hoof or a hoof. I've heard some people say hoof. Mostly they say hoof and hooves. But we're going to talk about that metal part that is put on the horse's hoof to protect it, that a blacksmith makes. Let's get started here. They're often used as good luck charms. We were laughing before the program started because mostly the good luck charms aren't a regular-sized horseshoe. They're just miniatures because that horseshoe can be pretty heavy. It's made out of metal.
Indeed. So, yeah, do you need a good luck charm? Of course, there are good luck charms here in Taiwan.
Yeah.
My family hosted an exchange student from Japan a long time ago when I was a kid, and he brought over a lucky charm from Japan. I can't remember what it was called. It was a piece of wood with a piece of purple thread tied to it or something like that. We still have it, actually. But in any case, we're talking about the horseshoe as a good luck charm. And we're saying here with this phrase, try a horseshoe on for size. Now, usually when you're going to a department store and you're trying on clothes, the clerk might say, well, here's a medium, try this on for size. See if it fits here. But we often use this phrase to talk about something that we want someone to try, whether it's clothing or a car or something. Like, oh, here's a new Jaguar, try this on for size. Get in and take it for a test drive and see if you like it.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to actually be wearing something. We'll just use that phrase to say, see how it fits. Is it something you'll like? It doesn't mean it has to actually fit your body. So the horseshoe is one of the Western world's best-known good luck charms. How did it acquire or get such a profound status or status? Some people say status. Most Americans say status. Now, there are a few different legends or old stories that have been passed down through time that we're going to talk about. The first one is from Ireland. So it's an Irish version. Now, there's a blacksmith. Again, those are those guys back in the olden days that would actually heat up metal to a very hot degree, and then they could bend and shape the metal. They were blacksmiths. They'd often make wheels for wagons, horseshoes for the horses, things like that. Now, he was busy forging horseshoes in his workshop because that's where they would work. Now, if you're going to forge something, it means you make or shape a metal object, again, by heating it up to a very high temperature. Usually they'd put it into a fire or a furnace. And then you see them in shows and TV shows and movies where they then take that hot metal and they beat it or hammer it into a shape that they want. That's forging horseshoes. So he was in his workshop when the devil appeared. The devil being Satan or Lucifer.
Yeah, the bad guy who lives in hell, the devil. So, yes, the blacksmith was forging horseshoes in his workshop, and then the devil appeared. The devil showed up and said, "Hey, I would like a pair of horseshoes." Okay, so we don't know why the devil would need some horseshoes. It's kind of interesting there, but I guess devils are like anybody else. They need the daily necessities of life. And the blacksmith, recognizing the devil, complies by attaching burning horseshoes to his feet. Okay, so yes, the blacksmith recognized this person. Oh, you're the devil. You're the most evil creature to have ever lived in the universe. And so here we've got the word to comply, which means basically you do as you're told. Okay, if you're out on the street with a gun, and the police come up to you and say, "Drop your gun," well, you better comply. You better put the gun down on the ground.
Obey.
You better obey, or the police officer is going to arrest you and put you in jail. They probably will anyway for having a gun in public like that. But in any case here, yes, the blacksmith complies. He does as the devil asks, and he attaches burning horseshoes to the devil's feet. I guess that would hurt, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I've always thought it probably hurts the horse, too, because they nail those horseshoes onto the horse's hooves. So anyway, I don't know why they put the horseshoes on the devil's feet or why the devil let him. So he is leaving the workshop. The devil's in intense pain, as you probably can imagine. And the devil is heard swearing, "I'll never go near that blacksmith shop again." So he actually promises to never go near a horseshoe again, meaning that horseshoe is probably a good place to be if you want to stay away from the devil, who's evil and makes you do bad things.
So there are some reasons not to fear the devil. The devil is stupid enough to let a blacksmith put horseshoes on his feet. And he can actually feel pain as well. I thought the devil was
they have no body,
immune from pain. They can only dish it out, but I guess the devil can receive it as well. So that's good news there. But in any case, that's a sort of legend there.
It's a great story.
It's a great story about horseshoes and this blacksmith. And we'll talk about some more stories involving horseshoes in just a second. But we're going to take a break right now and listen to our beloved Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。今天已经是1月19号喽，不晓得大家的新年有没有好运呢？如果你还没有感觉到好运，是不是可以考虑一下我们今天介绍的护身符 Good Luck Charm 是马蹄铁。嘿嘿，这个主题很特别哦。照例的呢，还是要先看一下下面这几个选项。如果你看到动词有加了 ing 或者是变成 pp 的话呢，有时候它会借过来当成形容词使用。那我们可能要特别注意一下，像 C 的选项 attributed。这个 attribute 的动词啊，它是归因的意思。通常的用法是 attribute A to B， 把 A 这件事情归因于 B 这个原因。那么 G 的 apparent 它是形容词，就是明显的意思。好，我们接着就直接看文章咯。在第一段当中啊，先用一个问句问你是不是需要一个好运的护身符呢？你可以试试看我们今天的主角 Horseshoe 马蹄铁。因为其实马蹄铁啊，它是西方最著名的好运护身符之一，但是它是怎么样 blank 第一格如此根深蒂固 profound status though， 所以在这个当中我们已经看到了疑问词 how did it， 第一格一定是一个动词原形，它是怎么样才得到这样子一个根深蒂固的地位呢？根据文意的话应该会选 A acquire。好，那么第二段其实要讲到关于马蹄铁它到底是怎么来的，当然有一些传说啦。第二句呢就谈到爱尔兰的，那言下之意就是在爱尔兰的这个版本当中，所以第二格给它一个 名词放在爱尔兰的形容词之后，名词的话呢，以 B version 版本这个选项是最适合。所以在爱尔兰的版本当中，就是有一个铁匠，他在他的工作室锻造马蹄铁，突然这个撒旦出现了。铁匠呢有认出他，所以他就透过将什么样的马蹄铁固定在撒旦的脚上。我们来看一下第3格，前面因为是 by doing something by attaching 什么什么 to， attach 就是附着粘上去的意思。所以我们后面虽然有出现了 horseshoe， 可是这个马蹄铁前面一定会有个限词啦，可能是有形容词啦或所有格之类的，所以第3格应该会选 D burning 是比较适当。后面这句话还是很重要哦， upon leaving， 注意这里是一怎么怎么的时候就如何如何的句型， upon 是介系词，所以后面的离开工作室的离开要用动词 ing， 所以谁离开逗点之后 the devil， 撒旦一离开工作室，他真的因为很痛，那个灼热的 burning horseshoe 直接粘在他的脚上，所以撒旦就发誓再也不要靠近马蹄铁了。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about the horseshoe and how it's considered to be a good luck charm for a lot of people. We left you to listen to our Chinese teacher after sharing with you an Irish legend or an Irish tale about the devil going to a blacksmith and wanting a pair of horseshoes and getting some horseshoes that really were burning hot. And he walked away in pain and said, I'm never going near a horseshoe again. So that would keep a horseshoe a good place to be if you want to avoid the devil. Now, elsewhere in Europe, people attributed magical powers to the horseshoe's iron, or the metal the horseshoe is made from. It's made of iron. Many people that believed, at least in Europe, that iron drove away wicked fairies and forced witches to ride broomsticks rather than horses. Interesting. Now, you've seen broomsticks because most of you out there have seen a Harry Potter film or two, and you know that when they play
Quidditch?
Yeah, they actually are riding broomsticks. So that iron, wicked fairies and bad witches away from you as well. So that's another reason why at least the Europeans started thinking of horseshoes as good luck charms.
I did not know this. So wicked fairies or witches used to ride horses, but because they didn't like horseshoes, they were scared of the metal from the horseshoes, so they decided to ride broomsticks instead. So that's why you see witches riding on brooms like you do during Halloween or in The Wizard of Oz, etc. But going farther back in history to the Middle East there, we've got the Chaldeans, who again lived a long time ago in the Middle East there. And on the other hand, the Chaldeans believed that the horseshoe's crescent shape symbolized various moon goddesses and warded off the evil eye.
Cool.
So, yes, they had horseshoes back then in the Middle East there, and it has this crescent shape, okay? If you see the moon in the sky around sunset, and if you look at the various flags of countries in the Middle East, you'll see the crescent of the moon, like look at the flag of Tunisia or of Pakistan maybe, and you can see like a star and a moon there. The moon is in a crescent shape, kind of like croissants, you know, the French bread. I think croissant actually means crescent in French.
It does indeed. That's the shape. Yeah, if something wards off something else, it means it just keeps it away from you or keeps it away from something. Maybe if you're trying to ward off a cold, you might want to go to bed early and take some more vitamin C and just treat yourself well. If you start yourself starting to come down with a cold, you want to ward that off by getting some extra rest as quickly as possible. Here you're going to ward off the evil eye. The evil eye is an expression that they used to use, especially long ago when people were still very superstitious, that people were able to cast magical spells on you to curse you. So they'd look at you funny, and supposedly it brought bad luck to you forever. So that's the evil eye. Now, moving on to the next paragraph, it says, the superstitions hardly end there, however. Yeah, I think some people are still quite superstitious. Superstitions are beliefs that certain actions or words will bring good luck or bring bad luck, depending on what superstition you're talking about. So you have some belief in, supernatural powers, especially black magic, things like that. A lot of people have superstitions about, living and having your house face the right direction. That's a superstition. Or maybe walking under a ladder is supposed to bring you bad luck. There are lots of different types of superstitions that people believe in. And there are superstitions attached to the horseshoe, too.
Yeah, maybe a superstition here in Taiwan is to go swimming during Ghost Month.
True.
A lot of people won't do it because they think it's dangerous. You'll be pulled under by a spirit or something like that. And a person, of course, who believes in such things is described as being superstitious, and they have superstitions. So these superstitions hardly end there. There are more of them. The way a horseshoe is hung also carries weight. That's interesting here. To carry weight kind of means somebody is carrying something heavy, but this phrase here just means it's very important. It's something that you need to take seriously and to consider.
Yeah, some believe that hanging the horseshoe with its opening facing upward keeps the good fortune it brings from spilling out because it's sort of cradling that good fortune. But if it's hung the opposite way, where the horseshoe's U faces downward, then it's supposed to just let all that bad luck out, I guess. Meanwhile, others believe that facing the horseshoe's U downward will cover all those who pass under it in good luck. So you could actually get good luck both ways, it sounds like. Now, in Finland, people even melt these miniature horseshoes down on New Year's Eve. This is the first time I've heard of this. It's interesting. Now, a miniature of something is just a very small model or copy, or we say replica sometimes, of something that's much smaller than normal. For example, a lot of girls have Barbie dolls. Those are miniature people, miniature pretty lady dolls that they play with. So miniature horseshoes, they actually melt them down on New Year's Eve. If they're made out of metal, though, they'll have to have a pretty hot fire.
They will indeed. And here, of course, miniature refers to things that are small, as you said. This reminds me of the Miniature Museum here in Taipei on Jianguo North Road, I believe. I went there many years ago. I think it's still there. But these are kind of small horseshoes. They're miniature horseshoes, and they can melt them down. I guess they can do that by applying heat to them or something. And the shape that the metal melts into offers a prediction for the year to come. So I guess if you try to melt these small horseshoes in a frying pan or something like that, then they'll take a certain shape in the pan there. So if the metal forms into the shape of a certain shape, then that will have different meanings depending on the shape it assumes.
Okay, so for instance, here's a horseshoe that melted into a ring shape, and supposedly that indicates an upcoming marriage proposal. For example, when a guy asks a woman, "Oh, will you marry me?" Or maybe the woman asks her boyfriend, "Oh, will you marry me?" That's a marriage proposal. Well, sometimes you get a coin shape that comes up as you melt that horseshoe, and that will forecast or foretell wealth. To forecast means to predict something that's going to happen in the future. We're often using this word to talk about the weather forecast. What's the weather forecast today? Some sort of prediction or estimate of a future event is a forecast, and you can use it as a noun or a verb. Here it's a verb, but we often will use it as a noun as well.
Yep, forecast here is a verb, though, so it might mean that you're going to be rich in the future.
Cool.
And people who lack the capability to melt down a horseshoe, however, might settle for placing one under their pillow when they go to bed on December 31st. So yeah, if you settle for something, that means you have to accept something less than what you wanted, okay? So yes, I wanted to get married in June, but I settled for July because all the churches were available in June.
Sometimes you have to settle for less than you really want. But, yeah, this one sounds interesting. You could put it under your pillow, but boy, those horseshoes are pretty hard. I think I could feel it through my pillow and have a hard time sleeping. So, no matter how it's hung, where it's placed, or what it reminds you of, it's clear or apparent that the horseshoe will be bringing blessings for many years to come. It's not my particular good luck charm, but for a lot of people out there, this is something they might want to look into if they're looking for a good luck charm in their lives.
Or if you have some horseshoes, you can have a game of horseshoes.
The game's
toss
fun.
them through the air and try to land them on some spikes sticking up. It's a popular game. Okay, that brings us to the end of our discussion for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
那么接下来的第四格呢，因为后面有一个 till to 介系词归因于 to horseshoes iron， 所以这里第四格的动词 people do something to the horseshoes iron， 欧洲则是把这种 power 啊神奇的力量归因于马蹄铁有铁这个东西，所以应该会选 C 的选项 attributed。 接下来呢，我们看一下第五格新月的形状，在这里因为是 believe 后面整个名词子句当中缺乏了一个动词，所以动词之后呢，这个新月的形状什么各式各样的女神，所以就把神秘的这个邪恶之眼呢给驱赶了。所以第五格的这个动词因为是新月的形状象征着女神，这个语义是最完整的，再加上上下文都是用过去式的关系，所以 I这个答案最适合。那么接下来我们就来看第六格咯。第六格 hardly 几乎不，所以迷信几乎没有停留在这里。动词我们给一个 end 在这边当动词结尾或者是结束，因为马蹄铁的悬挂方式也会有影响诶。有一些人认为如果马蹄铁是开口朝上，那就可以防止马蹄铁带来的好运会溢出。这个第七格的 the good 什么 it brings前后可以括号，它是关系词的简化的一个关系子句。甚至在芬兰呢，大家会在除夕的时候融化缩小版的马蹄铁，而金属融化的这种形状呢，则会为来年提供了一个什么第八格，所以是提供了一些预想啦，或者是预测之类。第八格我们填 prediction 是比较适合的。那如果没有办法融化马蹄铁的人，可能就会在12月31号在上床睡觉的时候勉强接受一个马蹄铁放在他们的枕头底下。我们看一下第九格 people who， 从 who 这边我们先做括号，右括号在逗点这个地方。那么 who 什么 the capability to do something， 第九格应该少的是一个动词，所以第九格根据文意应该是缺乏这样能力。第九格的 lack 是个动词哦。不过无论马蹄铁怎么放在哪里，或者是会让你想起什么，马蹄铁一定会为你带来很多的祝福。所以第十格这里我们应该选一个It's apparent。 希望大家不管有没有挂马蹄铁都有好运哦。我们下次见，我是安娜，拜拜。
That is it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. And hey, maybe we have inspired you to go find a rodeo somewhere or a corral to try riding a horse yourself. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.